How you doing, everybody, and welcome to the centre analysis video, the centre position, that is, not the analysis video in the middle. We're nearly there now. We've nearly gone through the whole team. I assume you don't want analyses of substitutes because they sit on the bench for most of the game, if they're lucky to have a bench. What we're going to do next is a halves analysis video together with the podcast and the content, and then we're done, and then we can start getting into the nitty-gritty of the season. When I was thinking about the centre position, obviously, I was thinking offense and defense, but I think the biggest questions are relating to defense. You know, when do you jam in? When do you stay? When do you hold your line? When do you turn in? When do you turn out? When do you when do you detach? When do you slide from the inside or do you push from the outside? Somebody like Steve Matai. Remember Steve Matai? He was great at coming out to win and would be a fearsome proposition for many. But then there's others who just hold their line and slide from the inside. So we'll dissect that a little bit. If you're in the realm of coaching juniors or your kids are juniors, remember the Aim Higher program is going to several different venues around Brisbane, around Gold Coast, Orange, Blue Mountains and whatnot over the next few months, including Bundaberg, actually, up a bit further north in Queensland. So have a look at the links and all the stuff on social media when you can. If you're a coach who needs a mentor, have a look at the Coach Mentor program. I'll put the links within this post if I remember. But I'll tell you what, for now, let's check the screen, and let's see what we've got. Okay, as usual, I'm using the World Cup footage because of rights restrictions elsewhere. So now I want you to think defensively, and I want you to look at Whiten on the right side and Latrell on the left side. The other thing that comes up is, what is Latrell? Is he a centre? Is he a fullback? Is he both? And I will sort of answer that question and give my thoughts on that a little bit later. I'll roll the tape now. So we're looking at some more attacking down the left. You will see the player here. I think it's Cleary. He's the 3-in defender, and he's already started to jump, if you like, and put pressure on. And this is what you hear when you hear somebody talk about a good defensive read or a bad defensive read. This is what they are talking about. And quite often you'll see the 2-in or the 3-in defender apply some pressure. This is Whiten here, though, in the 2-in position. So the wing is the 1-in, Whiten 2-in, centre, half 3-in. So they are clearly looking at applying some pressure there, and Whiten comes in second stroke third man. What I want you to notice about Whiten, though, did you notice how when the ball went back inside, he was conscious of his position and just attached himself back into his own position, didn't allow himself to be drifted in field. Now, what we're going to look at over the next couple of clips is how a lot of players choose to stay in the line versus jamming or rushing. So Latrell on this side just holds his position. Latrell has one of those demeanours that makes him look quite lazy when he does it. So people think he's just being lazy and doesn't want to get into defence. But I will show you why. Well, I'll challenge that theory basically for you as we move along. So he's not coming third man or anything like that, and nor did he need to because of the ruck control. Now we're looking at the Samoa defence, and therefore Stephen Crichton on the right centre. Because they're coming down the short side again with James Tedesco, Crichton just holds, but you will notice he turns his hips in a little bit. So I dare say Australia knew about this, and I dare say opponents of Crichton do know this, that he has a tendency to turn his hips in. Did you notice Latrell didn't really commit either way, whereas Crichton had a little bit of a sniff there. Once the door closed, Tedesco went away. So that's two short side plays. Defenders held. They didn't jump, okay? So when to hold and when to jump. These are the questions. Short side again, Crichton doesn't budge. The play goes back to where it came from, basically. Now we're going to be looking at Tim Laffey. When the ball gets shifted, you will see that the 3-in defender has jumped. Now, one of the reasons defence is quite hard as a centre is that you've got to read whether your defensive line is short or it's going to make it. A lot of that depends on your defensive system, the communication of the fullback. But also, if somebody inside you turns their hips in and jumps, you've probably got to go with them. So in many ways, the second or third defender in are the real fulcrum of the defensive line. They've got to communicate heavily. So I think centre is probably the most difficult position to defend in. And you'll see that Laffey has just covered the space there of Luai. So you've almost got an umbrella there, except the winger stayed back. And that umbrella has meant that Yo turned back in and didn't get rid of the ball. So Lafay made the decision there. Let's look again to cut the ball off at source, if you like. He followed Luai and made sure that Yo couldn't pass the ball outside. If Yo did pass the ball outside, Lafay was gone. Now, let's look at a different level of the game. We'll go back to the Poland game. You'll know these clips. I've used them all the time. It's just to make life easier. This is when you stay, and this is when staying is a good decision. So, watch the Maslanka boys here. They're clearly a little bit short. I would say this Maslanka needs to be a little bit more inside shoulder, but otherwise he holds, he's calm, and both the brothers make a good decision. So basically, hold your line, hold your line, hold your line. When the attacking player gets to about 1.5 meters away, you've got to come in as fast as you can. And that's what both boys did there, and did it quite well. In fact, they did it with aplomb and even controlled the ruck on the back. Now, on the left side of the Polish defence, the right side of the South African attack, I think this is Lockie Schramer. I think he's just turning his hips in a little bit here, and his feet are wide apart. So with some sharper play, he might have been in trouble. So I've paused the tape there. His feet are wide apart, which means it shouldn't be that easy for him to change direction. And his hips are facing us, which means he could be in trouble. But watch what he does here now. He adjusts really quickly. The problem we have is how quickly he got off at the play the ball for the next play, because you'll see soon what happened next. But he adjusted really well there, Lockie. But he rushed off the play the ball. Now, you will see here, and this is why centres get exposed sometimes, that the South African attack has engaged the middle of this Polish defence really well. So Polish players on the edges are having to readjust. If you watch the fullback video from a few weeks ago, I did suggest that the fullback needed to be in the line to create the extra defender. But knowing that they are short now, or thinking they are short, the 3-in defender has decided to jump. I don't think he needed to jump in this instance. I think he needed to just hold the line. And this means that the Maslanka boys, they have to jump too. So this is what I would suggest is a poor read. And the other thing I want to say about it is he probably did it far too early and not quick enough. You come in, you've got to make the tackle. If you don't, your edges are in trouble. Everyone else is moving up and out. He's moving up and in. Centres and wings get exposed. So I'd say that was a poor read from the 3-in defender there. Ireland versus Jamaica. Ireland with the ball, Jamaica defending. Let's have a look at this read. Again, a shortish side play. It's almost on a 50. They hold the line. Most hips are facing the same way. Maybe the right wing is turning in a little bit, but not too much that he can't adjust. And look how they hold, slide from the inside, push Irish number 5 into touch. That is excellent defence. Let's go back now to see how else it can be done. We're looking at Crichton again. Remember, we looked at Crichton earlier and said how his hips turned in. He's obviously a player that likes to think about coming into jam. Let's see what he does. Look at that for a read. He read it nice and early. Watch, I'm going to go slow. He's already thinking about, he's reading the play and he's already thinking about his target. I'm going to go, and now he's gone already. So the pass hasn't even made its target, and Stephen Crichton is getting there. There's two ways they could have dealt with that. They could have slid and just held the line, but you'll see when I show you some footage of Latrell Mitchell why that's dangerous to do that as well. But otherwise, Crichton makes it. If he doesn't, then I'm sure Mitchell and Adokar would have done some damage. Here, he half jumps, half looks to disturb, but checks himself, and then it's the wing Toto who gets it wrong. Okay, so I hope you can see the difference. Let's look at the two things here. Crichton comes out, makes a decision. This time, he thinks about it, stays, but then Toto goes, which exposes the outside of the Samoa defence. Now, we're going to use a centre to transition from defence to offence. Watch Whiten's quick thinking here, catches the ball in the in-goal, and straight away on his toes, getting the ball down the other end of the field. So from this clip, we're going to go from defence to offence, and we're going to see the roles that the Australian centres played in this game. Now, special focus on Latrell Mitchell for obvious reasons. Now, this clip will give you Latrell Mitchell in, if you like, in his most basic form. He's a strong person. And past centres such as Greg Inglis and Mal Meninga and the like, they could really do this kind of thing from 5 metres out. Look at the power from Latrell Mitchell here. So if you give Latrell too much space, he can power over you. Now, he might have messed up the try-scoring opportunity, but you can't give him too many, because watch him here. Now, he's made a break with speed. Now he's one-on-one with what I think is the last defender, and he bumps him off to score the try. So this is why you can't give Latrell too much room. Watch him bump the last defender off. So Latrell will either get past you, step past you, or run over you, and this is why you can't give him much room. And he went over to score that try. Now, why Latrell is good in this position as well is he can put his winger away. And the basic rule of thumb for a centre, a good centre is just as good at putting their winger away than they are at scoring tries themselves. And I think you'll find there's a big correlation. The teams that struggle in the NRL and Super League, their second rows, their centres, they struggle to make the right decisions in those positions. So defensively, you can either hold and you can either stay, paddle, or you can go up and out and slide, or you can even hold and push again. If you're going to come in, you've got to make the tackle. And if the person inside you goes in, you've got to go in as well. So hopefully that's give you a bit of a read on the centre defensive positions there. A bit of a shorter video this week. I'm looking forward to doing the halves next week. Take care. See you next week.